have a clear conversation with your boss and let them know how they're affecting you.
क्यों तड़प तड़प के जिए?
People strategies how to say no.
Issues myself, saying no.
जॉब चले आएगी तो किसको टॉक्सिक मानेगा वो?
5, they drop their work.
कंपटीशन नहीं है, मेरा जॉब आके कोई और कर लेगा, सर उनको हायर कर लेंगे. When you're traveling upwards,
Some of the companies, they have these timeouts where they do a lot of bubble blowing.
just
When the boss is sitting on your head and you can't move away. It has worked with my patients.
Hello, I am Mugdha Vagshan with Interact with Health. 10th October is World Mental Health Day, and there have been quite a few incidences in the recent past about people having lost their lives due to stress at the workplace. So World Federation for Mental Health has decided that we talk about this topic, which is mental health at workplace. And in today's podcast, you're going to meet my dear friends and esteemed guests, Meenal Mashru and Zainab Jhanjharya, who we are going to talk about this topic.
Hi everyone, my name is Zainab Jhanjharya. I'm a psychologist and currently I'm working at CMHAS, which is the Center for Mental Health Advocacy Research and Treatment Services. It's a mouthful. I occasionally enjoy powerlifting and I also have a budding interest in substance use disorders and de-addiction psychology.
Hi, I'm Meenal Mashru here. I'm a clinical psychologist practicing psychotherapy and different modules of therapy. I work with children, adults, young adults and senior citizens for depression, anxiety, relationship and stress management. I'm a trustee in Child and Youth Thane.
We did a survey of various professionals across board from various corporate sectors and had these few questions, especially regarding mental health at work. Relevant ones: how to deal with a boss.
A toxic boss.
Oh yeah, okay.
Mugdha, in my line of work, I have come across a couple of people who've had bullies in the workplace or a tough boss or a space where they were not allowed to be themselves, and yes, that was creating a lot of stress and a lot of panic. So yeah, therapy is of course what we prescribe, and now a lot of workspace also gives you an opportunity to have a therapist around. So yes, one is speak to someone, speak to a colleague, do things which keep you mentally happy, take periodic breaks. The first I would say is conversation. Have a clear conversation with your boss and let them know how they're affecting you.
I think अगर बात नहीं किया तो वो continue होते रहेगा. You have to at least put it on the table that hey, I know you're messing with me and I don't like that. Now privilege comes into this because a lot of my friends, you know, we all get to that point where we are like, अब छोड़ देना है because boss toxic है वगैरह. But are you able to sustain a life? If, like मैं छोड़ के क्या करूँ? The job market is messed up and this is a good job, or at least it's paying my bills. So that's also like a problem, which is why therapy is life changing. I started therapy earlier this year and it's excellent, and I didn't even know I had so many questions in life. Or you can, but it'll just be long, drawn out and painful. नहीं करना है इतना, क्यों तड़प तड़प के जिए? When you have an option, I think therapy definitely, or at least you need to find others who relate to you. Find other people who also have toxic bosses.
At workplace or at other workplaces?
At other workplaces. My boss is a cutie. My boss is a certified cutie. I don't have this problem.
What are a few things that other than therapy that can be done?
So I think channelizing your energies and finding what works for you, either taking breaks or either music, yoga, breathing techniques. So yes, you have to be there and you have to deal with this project and the boss, and there's no way out. You have to finish the work. So yes, you have to find what works for you.
Do you have a different take?
Mine is very cathartic. But I have started doing this thing where whenever work does get overwhelming, I step outside, and we work in a residential building, and I just run up and down the stairs till I'm so exhausted that like all the energy has just gone, all the has just left me. And then I'm like normal again. And I can come back and rationally talk.
Exercise is also very important, and it does let you release a lot of your pent up emotions. A lot of people are taking up to boxing and kickboxing and whatnot. But if it does not allow you in your schedule and while you're at workspace and you cannot move out, So these little few minute break of just hearing your favorite song or doing 5 minutes of breathing techniques when the boss is sitting on your head and you can't move away. It has worked with my patients. They have seen results and they started more of pranayams and more of, so I think each one to their own, they have to find what works for them. The people who've come mostly are juggling work life and professional and personal life. So most of the people who come are not so much for toxic bosses, but also the environment, the colleagues, the bully, the how to interpersonal skills. A lot of people are also feeling secluded because of, they've studied all their lives. I've had a girl, she was with me and she was working in a very, very renowned company. Her problem was communication. She could not express what she was feeling even to her colleagues. Even she was heading a project, she could not tell her subordinates what is it that she wanted, because she studied all her life. She's either been in school or college and work and laptop, and now her skills with humans is very limited. So yeah, that is
she better with emails?
I think she should have tried that. I forgot to mention that. Yeah, email would have worked.
In the workplace, when you're sitting there and don't have the opportunity to run up and down the stairs, what are the other things that you would recommend?
I've had one patient, she's actually told me that she starts counting. She stops, pauses before she gives a reaction, because her reactions were pretty extremes. So she used to count numbers in her head, and I think it's a little filmy also. But maybe a tried and tested formula. So I think, yeah, you have to find what works for you. Or maybe just a little phone call to somebody you like, or a friend, or just talk to a person who's also dealing with the same boss but maybe having a different approach. So that helps finding your cult or tribe and people who can keep you sane.
Or be insane together.
Be insane together.
Couple of things come to my mind is, especially since I come from a bit of a school kind of a setup. Exam times, which is relatable, is to project deadlines, are the craziest times when things really go south. And collectively, since we are a group of ladies, we do a lot of jadoo ki chappis. It's like an instant thing, and yes, immediately calming. And that can be something that can be introduced, or even just saying, breathe.
Yes, true.
I think that's a very caregiver perspective, because once you are an adult, nobody is there to give you any attention, care, love, motivation, anything. So it's just something that I think is the minimum. Like, at least you can try before you dismiss it, is finger breathing. You just go like.
Okay, can you just demonstrate that a little better?
So you hold up your 5 fingers and you can decide how fast you want to go, but when you're traveling upwards, you breathe in and then you exhale. This you can do at any given point. You can do it whenever somebody is like getting on your nerves or whatever is going on. It's subtle, it's easy, it's bite-sized. You do it 5 times and you feel better, and that gives you motivation ki if I do deep breathe on a regular basis, it is going to contribute to better mental health. And deep breathing is such a passive sounding thing ki oh, deep breathe. It sounds like, it's more difficult to implement because of how simplistic it is, but it really does help, and this is the bare minimum you can do before you reject it.
Some of the companies, they actually have these timeouts where they do a lot of bubble blowing.
What is bubble blowing? Just.
Okay.
So cool, isn't it?
Surprising.
Can we give people strategies how to say no?
Practice.
To the mirror.
नहीं, तुम बोल के देखो.
But fairly, though I'm a therapist, I am 45 plus, but I have issues myself saying no. There are a lot of us who do not or cannot say no. Like any random time, anybody approaching me and I'm up there doing it. So how I personally struggle, though I give strategies to people, but personally I struggle to be able to say no. Yes, you're right, it starts with practice, but what if a person is not able to do it?
if you know that your boss wants you to do something and this
At
is
5:30
clearly
in the evening on Friday.
yeah, they're asking you to do rangoli. Now you know that that's gonna have like a impact on your career because people are gonna think of you as antisocial, this, that. Now saying no to this, a bit difficult. And then if your colleague gives you a file and is like, hey, can you just finish this by 6 p.m. today? Saying no to that, saying कि नहीं मेरा काम खत्म हो चुका है, 5 o'clock is done. Saying no to that. Now this is more pervasive, right? This you have to do every day in life. If you keep saying yes to that extra file coming in at 5 p.m. every day, it's going to cause much more. So there is like a picking and choosing of battles that you have to teach.
Okay.
Because there are real consequences, right? Job चले आएगी तो किसको toxic मानेगा वो? But you have to establish something that is doable. The big task always is intimidating, but cake नहीं, slice भी नहीं, bite से शुरू करो बस. Suppose your colleague is just telling you कि hey एक और coffee चाहिए मुझे please. You can just say no, नहीं time नहीं है मेरे पास. So sometimes you have to start that small. Whatever they are comfortable with, क्योंकि आदत ही नहीं है, right? So you start with something really easy and then amp it up.
But you know, I recently read about this that there are certain countries now, they have this time period. 5, they drop their work.
Competition नहीं है. मेरा job आके कोई और कर लेगा, sir उनको hire कर लेंगे. यहाँ पे वो problem है कि चाह कर भी I can't do that.
But as a corporate, if
Yeah,
they
if
take
they
a stand,
take-
there are
Why
certain
won't
corporates in India who do decide and they do respect. So we can do something which is hatke, is and it will promote a movie which I haven't even seen. Mr. Bachchan saying there, no is a complete sentence. Just put that there. Put it on your phone.
Pink.
Yeah, oh, that's
Pink,
right.
yeah.
So no is a complete sentence.
मैं अगर ना बोल दूँ तो मेरे लिए consequences क्या है? Especially without an explanation. ये मेरा bread and butter है भाई. I can't.
So I think one has to become a little diplomatic then. If no is not an option for you, or if I cannot say no, then I like, could I do it tomorrow please? Or could you just delegate? I don't think I understand this. Or there are different ways of going around it. If you're not able to say a clear cut no, then please develop strategies and skills to be able to deny that without having to say no. That's working for me. So the top 5 I would say would be still communication and therapy. If you're not able to communicate with somebody at workspace, you can contact a therapist. Taking a break and talk to someone who's a friend or a mother or something, I think has immediate effect. It calms you down immediately. Or talking to a loved one. Third I would say is deep breathing, of course. Deep breathing, taking few moments if you are in a situation, it's stressing you out. Take a few breaths, pause yourself, detach from the work for few minutes. Music, you can always put AirPods. This is allowed now in workspace. You can just put some AirPods, hear some song which is probably a go-to music. And fifth I would say, yeah, use things. These things help at workspace. When you just calm down and squeeze a ball or something, or a fidget spinner, it helps immediately calm you down. Yep.
Mental health at workplace. Watch this podcast on our YouTube channel, Interact with Health. Please like, share and subscribe, and do make it a point to increase awareness by sharing this video with your friends and family.